Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 8th round of action. In the spring, I am Norm Round Robin. In this round, I'm taking on a gentleman who is having a little bit of a rough tournament. He is the lowest seed of the section. He's a New Yorker, but he is originally from the Philippines. Every section has range, and sometimes you get players on the lower side of the range, and sometimes you play, the GM of the section, like I did in the second round. So, I have to win this game. There's really no. Did I say 7th round of action in the intro? Did I say 7? I think I meant 8. 8th round of action. All right, you clicked on the 8th round of action. I'm just gonna keep it going here. So what I know about Vincent Umayan from Philippines, New York. Philippines are not in New York. We're off to a great start here. Okay, fantastic start. He likes to play knight f6, but his openings are generally unpredictable, and I was expecting a Trompowsky, but he played d5, which really shocked me because when I looked at his games prior to the round, I did not see d5 at all. So rather than enter into the queen's gambit, I played bishop f4, and I was going to leave it up to him to decide which way to take the game. And then on move 3, I reconsidered. I actually didn't want to play a traditional London. Instead, I played the opening I've played 2 other times with white, and actually once with black. I just decided, you know what, no, let's play knight c3, let's go for an imbalanced game. It's worked twice. I've had decent positions. Very curious to see what he was going to do. I checked some of his blitz games, and he liked to play like this, so I was, very much looking forward to like this pawn storm. But he played e6, I played e3, not going for knight b5 stuff, forcing the knight here. And here my intention was to play a very aggressively long castle, queen out, attack him if he played this move. And he played this first, and then in this position, I decided to get aggressive now with the move g4. And then he played bishop d6 and queen f3. So basically, it was the same thing. If this, then I would have gone queen f3, g4, g5. To be honest with you, I know very little about this position. I just know that, white likes to go for this kind of attack. I actually was improvising even here. Queen takes f4 is the best move. I didn't play it because I thought he could trade queens with me. Yeah, computer just thinks white is like convincingly better here. So it's kind of funny. G5 as well as even just a move like this. And computer's like, well, white is better because white has the better structure. I wasn't in a structural mood. I was in an imbalanced kind of mood. So I was ready to take risk. I was ready to, have him play moves like c5, attacking my center. I took on c5 because now he has to spend a move or 2 winning the pawn back. I'm going to long castle. And here, he actually came up with something very annoying. Queen c5 is what I was anticipating, and then my idea here was to play, obviously, g5, and maybe even f5. I was looking at just getting really aggressive, like right away. If castles, I can even shove the pawn forward with f6. This just seems really unpleasant for black. Seems like I'm much faster on my attack than they are with theirs. But he delayed taking my pawn and played knight c6. And this is an annoying move for a couple of reasons, because now if I play g5, he might not even take this with the queen. In fact, I might have just helped him transfer a piece to attack me. That's what it felt like. The computer doesn't think so. But let me tell you, playing this over the board, I was like, wait a minute. Why would I attack his knight and advance if he hasn't even castled? Like, what am I doing? Who am I attacking? There's nobody there. Computer seems to think it's the best way to play anyway. I decided, when I saw knight c6, to just make sure everything was going to be okay on the queen side first, so I played this move king b1. Always a useful move. Let's also not forget that there is a threat of d4, removing the knight from the defense of the pawn. And there's also the threat of, like, knight e4, for example. Again, removing this. So I played king b1. And again, I was fully expecting this, but he castled. And I was just simply shocked by this move because of everything that I just said. I just said, like, I thought he wasn't castling, so I wasn't attacking. But now that he's castling, well, this move never looked so good. So obviously I have g5. I also have h4 if I just want to throw one more pawn forward to try to get a pawn to h6. I can also maybe play f5. It's probably not a good move, but I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at the stuff. I have knight e2, and I also have bishop out to d3. I liked bishop d3 because I just felt like it was doing something before I play the move g5. The computer likes this because after queen c5, this attack begins, the computer just thinks that this attack is just faster for white. It absolutely doesn't agree with anything that black is doing. It thinks that black's attack slows down, white's attack only gets stronger. So what I did in the game is I developed my bishop before I developed my knight with the intention of playing g5. I thought he would go here, 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 kind of all the same ideas that the computer suggested, but with the bishop on d3. Then here he surprised me with the move e5. I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of forgot about this move. Like, the entire opening, I was looking at it. I was like, can he do it here? Sorry. Like, I was like, can he do it here? No, he can't, because I can do a lot of things. I can take, I can probably go g5. So, obviously the threat is bishop g4, but if, you know, I can even block his bishop. Like, I can take on d5 if he goes here. This is check, and then this is what I was thinking. And then for some reason here, I just completely forgot about e5. Because now I can't play f5 because there's this. So the problem is that anything I try to do and get aggressive, there's countermeasures of e4, which is the major difference. So I'm very lucky e5 doesn't just like blunder the whole game away on the spot. I'm lucky my position is well coordinated, but that was a silly oversight. And now tactics begin flying. So I take on e5. Now, if you're looking at this, you're probably thinking, isn't this just up material? You would think so, but it's not so simple. Because, for example, if I play something like queen g2, and then he takes, and then I take, I mean, this is a very significant threat, and I can go here, here, and at some point I can get his bishop. What I thought I was going to do after bishop g4, he played knight e5 in the game, was go here, and we would get a very complicated position. There's also this incredible move. Point is that if he takes with the knight, I take the bishop. If he takes with the king, I check him, and then I take his knight, and yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on here, but I think white is better, even though white is down material. White is not down material, actually. It's 7 pawns versus 5, so it's knight and 2 pawns for a rook. But he decided to take on e5 instead of taking on g4, and I played queen f4. So queen f4 has a lot of really interesting ideas behind it. First of all, I attack his knight, but all 3 of these pieces can take on g4. The other idea of this move is that I want to go b4. So, for example, in the future, not right now, but in the future, I will be able to glue the queen. I will attack the queen and glue the pawn so he can't take on c5. So, for example, and this is what I calculated in the game, if bishop g4, I would play f3, he would in-between move, here, here, and now this amazing move b4. He can't go here because knight d5, so we would get this, this, and I didn't know how to evaluate this position. And it's good I didn't know because the evaluation according to the machine is 0.3, so very much in the balance. This is everything that I was calculating. He can take in a variety of different ways. He can also apparently play this move, which he told me about after. And he even a couple of moves ago was contemplating sacrificing a pawn on the queen side to just open up a position and attack me. So very complicated position. I mean, like a lot of different opportunities. I mean, I was completely convinced that bishop takes g4 was the best move. He has another way of doing this. Like, for example, this, I thought of coming back with my bishop, not letting him take, and then going for a position like, you know, like this basically, where, again, I can play b4, this really funny move, and I don't know who's better here. You know, like, am I attacking him? Is this gonna work? I don't know. What happened in the game, though, and he made a pretty big mistake here, but it doesn't look like much of a mistake. The mistake that he made is he took my bishop without taking my pawn. So what he did is he took my bishop and then took this pawn. It would have been better for him to take the pawn on g4 and then keep this pawn. He was worried, he told me after the game, he was worried that, you know, he doesn't want to open my g file. Like, this is scary. But his bishop would have been the defender of the g file so long as I'm not able to break through. But he did it this way and then took. Originally here, I thought I'd just win the pawn back. I don't. I thought I'd just win the pawn, but he has this. And if I take with the rook, he checks me, so danger levels, and then picks up my rook. If I take with a knight, he just goes here. This is pretty brutal. And it looks like I can maybe mate him, but it's just not going to work. He can just go here, rook g8, and I'm still in the same problem. So, Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of frustrated because I thought G5 was working here. So he's doing a very nice job defending the position. Then I realized something. I realized that his position is awful. What? But Levy, you just said, I know what I said. You see, I thought that we couldn't get here because of G5. But when I realized that there's G5 knight e4, I got a little frustrated. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, his position is actually really bad. And he didn't realize it either. I mean, we talked after the game. He just thought he was playing natural-looking moves. Here's the thing. I have a very simple plan here. Knight here, h4, h5, h6, win. I won't even win this pawn. Like, if he gives it to me, sure. But that's the plan. I apparently can even play this now. I didn't think about that because I thought I would lose my pawn, but this is actually just too strong now. Right, he can't take. So, knight e2 was even better, but I decided to play it safe with f3, and then knight e2, and obviously he played rook c8 to try to play b5, b4, and I just went h4, and I'm like, can you find a move for black? Because I can't. He cannot move. I mean, his pieces are so passive. Okay, he can play b5, and originally my intention here was to play h5, b4, h6, and I thought that this position was actually losing for white after b takes c3. Okay, wow, this is very interesting. Why is this not losing? hg, rook e8, queen f6, takes. Wow. Okay, the computer just thinks this is a totally winning position. Amazing. Yeah, I saw this position, but all the way back here, I was calculating h4, b5, h5, b4, h6, bc, h. I mean, like insane. I was going super deep in the calculation, and I was very worried about the queen and the rook opening up. But apparently, as it turns out, I can absolutely do this. So that's very funny. That I am able to take on g7 and then just take the knight and like act like nothing happened. Incredible. I also thought there was tactics on my knight, but yeah, I'm just wrong. Stockfish just finds wins everywhere. What I did instead of engaging in that is first I played knight d4 to defend my c-pawn, and then I played knight e2. So I created this little barrier. And this is what I meant by black's position is terrible. Like, he legitimately can't move any pieces. I don't know how this happened. I mean, I'm not this good at chess. Like, we just sort of stumbled into a position where he just suddenly has zero play. And the plan for white is quite simple. Again, h5, h6. So he goes here. This is actually a really tricky move. It looks like it does nothing. Let's say we continue with our plan. Oops. Oops. I should have warned you I was going to drink some of my drink. The last few recaps that I've made late at night, my throat was very dry and I sounded very squeaky. So I'm drinking my lime jarritos. One of my favorite flavors, actually. I never really liked lime jarritos, but I liked some of the other ones. But yeah, this is very good. Can't complain. Anyway, that's what I'm drinking. Let me know your favorite soda, or your favorite other fizzy drink that you like that's not soda. Or if you don't drink carbonated beverages, I don't know what to tell you. All right, if it upsets your stomach, I'm really sorry. Anyway, that's the idea. Oh, by the way, I didn't show you why this is good. My knight no longer defends my pawn. Sorry, I got distracted by my jarritos. So that's the idea. I mean, the idea is that, he wants to go here, and then this, and then this. And yeah, so I have to defend myself. So I play rook g1. This defends because now after bishop g4, I just move my knight. Oopsies. This is hanging now, and if he moves the bishop anywhere, I take the knight. So he moved out of the way, and then here I just very quickly played rook g2. At this point, it's very important to mention that probably from around this point forward, maybe around this point forward, I was always up about 20 to 30 minutes on the clock. I was consistently playing faster, and I knew that I wouldn't need to work so hard if I just played fast, improving moves, and bled him on the clock. So if he got down to 5, 4, 3 minutes, everybody gets desperate, all right? In the words of, then they start doing some stuff they normally wouldn't because they have low time. In the words of Nate Diaz, oh, so you're a wrestler now. My MMA fans will know what I'm referring to. That's the idea here. You know, I'm like, oh, all right, well, you're getting all aggressive, right? So I'm just going with the plan. And he goes queen c7 and offers me a queen trade. I had a really funny idea here. I wanted to not trade queens. I wanted to go queen c1. And I thought this was a hilarious move. If he reroutes his knight, I was going to go h6, g6, and then play b3 and fianchetto my queen. I promptly realized that this was utter idiocy and just played h6, traded with check, and he played a really fancy move here, by the way. King g7 is the natural recapture. He played this with the idea of back rank mate, sacrificing his bishop for back rank mate. The problem with this is I didn't blunder it, shocking. And now this is just a thorn. That's really the issue. I mean, I had a feeling that with 1 or 2 minutes on the clock, he was not going to be able to defend this position. I mean, it just seemed, I don't know. It just seemed really difficult. So what did I do? I played rook g5, attacking his pawn. And I actually, h6 here is really strong. I didn't even realize how strong this was. With the intention of playing rook e5, rook g5, which is not something I saw. And it absolutely is something I should have seen. But again, he had very low time, and I was kind of just pushing him on that front rather than trying to play all the best moves. So this is definitely my bad. Would have been better for me to apply pressure on the h-file, always make sure my king can get out from back rank mate, and then go this way. But I did it this way. He defended on c5. I played the move b3, which simultaneously prevents rook c4 and allows my king to get off the back rank. And I actually predicted his next move. This move makes his eyes draw this way, so he played the move a4. And a4 is just a blunder. It looks like he's making progress and disallowing my king to escape. No. The problem is knight d3, and he's just forked. Like in the middle of this endgame, with pieces scattered all over the board, he suffers a fork. And now he's going to lose his pawn. And then here, he played h6, kicking my rook out. And he went for rook e5, rook g5. He actually went for this. The problem is, it's a little bit too late, because now it comes with yet another fork. This knight was the fork master. And this fork is very brutal, because you actually don't lose an exchange. You lose a full rook. You cannot protect. Oh, no, he could have gone d4, I suppose. But then he would have lost all his pawns. So, and then he would have gotten, so it's bad. So he resigned after knight c6. I mean, can't really complain. I got what I wanted in this game. Topsy-turvy middle game out of a Jobava London with opposite side castling. I played faster on the clock. I wasn't bulletproof accurate. Like you just saw, rook g5 wasn't the most accurate move in the endgame because I missed this idea completely. But a win's a win, you know? If only I could play like this against GMs, but obviously they would be a bit more resilient, I think, in some of the ensuing endgame complications and, you know, the defending and whatnot. But a win is a win, and I will see you all tomorrow for the 9th and final round. I'm going to be playing against Bach. I don't know how to say his last name. I would say Ngo, but how is NGO pronounced? I believe it's a Vietnamese last name. I think. I really hope I'm not insulting anybody. I'm pretty sure it's a Vietnamese. You know what? Before we end this recap, I'm going to go name origin. Yes. The word means corn in modern Vietnamese. Well, there you go. Fantastic, folks. Appreciate you all hanging out with me. I'll see you all in round number 9. Get out of here.